Man, this episode was wacky, but pretty cool at the same time. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Spike back again once again, and today we here for #1 Sentai Gozyuger episode 6. This episode was pretty cool. Big reveal in this episode, multiple reveals in this episode as well. We see the ending of Don Momotaro, aka the Prime Minister, for this episode. We have finally defeated him. We've finally taken all his rings. Like, we're finally actually doing some ring taking in this freaking show. I mean, we saw it before when he fought the dude that was Ryuso Red, but this time we see one of our main rangers actually defeat someone and take their rings. But I don't think he's gone. I think he's going to be maybe sort of a prime, maybe sort of a reoccurring character. I feel like we haven't seen the last of the Prime Minister, especially since he's on good graces with everybody else, and since Haru basically called him his #1 best friend. So maybe that leaves the door open for him to do other things later on down the line, even though he's not, he don't got his Tega sword no more. But yeah, it seems like he is sort of like the main. He plays like a big pivotal part in this episode. He basically pretends to be a bad guy for the Brydon, and he basically kind of goats the team into coming to this infinity castle that he ends up creating. And when he creates it, they have to basically go through multiple trials, and these trials are essentially just children's games. One of them is the first one was tag, then the second one was dodgeball, and the third one was playing house. And we do see that our fire boy, I forgot his name, it was Fire something, but yeah, his role in this episode is basically to get revenge on Wolf, basically get revenge on Haru, because he wants to defeat him because of the last time they had a showdown, and Wolf kind of kicked his butt. But yeah, he ends up going there to this castle and bringing a bunch of the Infinity dudes with him. Well, a bunch of the Bell dudes with him, and another gold Bell that has like a personality and everything. He even has a name, and it's like, bro, it's like the Rangers are really just killing all this dude, offing all this dude's friends, because it seems like he's friends with all the Golden Bell dudes, because it's like they have names and stuff, and he cares if they get off and stuff like that. And the fact that they're basically taking a lot of them out kind of sucks for him, because they're it feel like they're his actual friends, and it sucks. But yeah, he ends up sort of interrupting the games, or sort of interrupting the little trials and things that they were having. And we see our 4 Rangers are all fighting him because he sort of interrupted the games. And then Red is basically Haru is having a conversation with the Tokunatsu, I think that was his name, Tokunatsu, the Prime Minister. We basically get to see Haru's past, basically get to see his past and where he came from and stuff like that. We find out that he had an older brother, a mom, and a dad. And it turns out, for some reason, him and his older brother were playing in the forest. While they were playing in the forest, they ended up going into the Brydon, into the No.1 world, and we see a bunch of silhouettes of all these different No.1s. And when we see all these different No.1s, we see that they were attacking him and his brother, and also a bunch of other people who seem to have wandered into this world. So they basically just ran, and I guess his brother ended up being taken out, and a bunch of other people also got taken out as well, because I guess essentially him and his brother essentially just lived there until eventually he found a way out. like he was the only survivor. There were other people, but apparently he was the only survivor. And it kind of brings back to when we saw the flashback with that woman protecting him, and she ends up getting dusted too, and she's telling him to, like, you know, bury your feelings and stuff like that, like never believe in anything and stuff like that. And turns out that wasn't his mom. That, I guess that was just like maybe a woman that kind of maybe adopted him while they were in that world, and he was the final survivor of that world, of, you know, those encounters in that world. And when he eventually when he gets back to his world, he sees that his parents have had a whole new set of kids, freaking set of kids. And now he just felt like, and he had grew up at that point. And he says that his parents have long since moved on without him. And he basically said that, you know, there was no point in going back there because I didn't want to interrupt on their lives. So, hey, so I'm just like, wow, this is sad. Like, it's back, like this backstory is just, it makes sense about it makes sense why he's the lone wolf now. It definitely does make sense he's the lone wolf now. But yeah, it's still kind of weird, because how did you and your brother, like, just wander into the world? Like, was there a portal or something like that? Because it shows like how they just woke up there, like they fell in and they stand up and they see all these they see other people who have also done this, and they see like a bunch of monsters. And I'm just like, how did y'all get here? Also, how did you get out? You know, maybe most likely we're going to get more clarification later on down the line, but right now I'm confused. Okay, I'm big confused. Because, like, how did you and your older brother get there? What if your older brother's not dead? And how did you get out there? Like, it was this. There's a lot going there, and they're setting up some stuff. But man, it sucks. His backstory was terrible. His backstory was like terrible. Like, you and your older brother gotta grow up in this world, and now, like, the people that you met along the way have all been, you know, dealt with, and now you're the only survivor. And I'm like, man, survivor's guilt must be running rampant in his freaking head, yo. But turns out, while everybody's fighting the fire dude and stuff like that, he's telling Tokunatsu all this, and Tokunatsu says that he can, like, kind of relate to him. Because he said he was all alone too, and then, you know, he's still pressing on to get this wish from Tegasaur and things like that. We find out what his wish is later on in the episode as well. But after they kind of have that heart-to-heart kind of talk thing, they end up going to help the others, and big fight ensues after they defeat everybody. We actually see the debut of Unicorn. We see both modes of her Tegasaur mech. She has like a regular standing mode, and then she has a horse or minotaur. No, not horse. I mean centaur. She has like a centaur mode in her mech too, and she is fighting the king and the queen. You know, the king and the queen, who's a bit cake and they're stuck together and stuff. Yeah, I just slapped the duck out my freaking mic. Hold on. But yeah, so they she's fighting them, and she's able to hold her own for a little while, and she's actually able to defeat them. And I'm just like, there's no freaking way you beat them by yourself, yo. There's no freaking way. Like, that's final boss material right there. You're not gonna tell me you're taking them out, the king and the queen, in episode 6, yo. I'm not buying it, big dog. So after the boys have basically defeated everybody, defeated the Bell dude, and end up defeating Fire, or I'm calling him Fire from right now, end up defeating Fire. Fire is like, he gets pissed off because they killed another one of his friends, and he vows to come back and get revenge on Goju Wolfu. But we see that now that Black, after we see that Haru and Takanatsu have their one final like fight with each other. It's like basically just like the classic samurai standoff. You run, you slash, whoever falls down first is loser and stuff. They basically did that, and he ends up defeating him, destroying his Tega sword, and also getting all his rings. So they end up taking all his rings, and they basically decide to be best friends and stuff like that. And then just sees like Haru is starting to grow more as a character. He's starting to grow more as a person because he's starting to open up more and stuff, and he's starting to smile more and stuff like that. So I like it. And his whole thing was, you can't sulk forever, and I am trying not to sulk forever because I'm big sulk right now. But yeah, man, that's the episode ends off with the other big reveal when Unicorn thinks that she ends up defeating the king and the queen. They end up reforming and firing a blast at her, and then out of nowhere, Mighty Morphin Red Ranger appears. Yo mech is wearing a cloak, dude, and he's actually in it. So he appears there, and then that's the end of the episode right there. I guess he's gonna end up helping them and stuff. Most like he's for damn sure not gonna be helmetless for all that while. I feel like he's gonna be helmeted up for the whole time he's there. And stuff, because this is setting up for next week's episode, and next week's episode like it's gonna be freaking peak. But yeah, overall this episode was dope. Like I said before, I don't think we're gonna see the end of Takanasa. And also, I'm still waiting for freaking Taya to come back. He's probably off on his freaking training, or probably gathering a bunch of rings from a bunch of other freaking rangers or Tega Sword Ranger red dudes or whatever. But yeah, man, this episode was great. I liked it. It was kind of sort of not really a weak episode at all, especially with that reveal in the end, and also especially with the backstory of Haru and stuff like that. Absolutely freaking great. But other than that, fighting was good, effects were good, CGI was pretty cool. But yeah, this episode was dope. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to like, share, subscribe. I love you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna see you guys next time. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As I always say, stay kenshined.